Somebody who is fighting the law on drugs on the front line is Simon Stevens. He's the director of Casework for Addictions UK. They're in Chester Street. Simon, where do you stand on the drug possession law?
I'm neither stand for or against, because I really see this as a health issue and not a legal issue. We're very much working in the field of addiction, and addiction occurs whether things are legal or whether they're not legal. And the example we have massive examples of it. We have alcohol and legal highs on one hand, which are legal. You have huge addiction issues for both of those. And then we have the likes of cocaine and heroin on the other hand, which are illegal. And guess what? You have massive addictions with those as well. So anyone who sees either massive penalties for possession or no penalties for possession as a panacea to our problems with drugs is really barking up the wrong tree. It's not a legal issue. It's about education and it's about treatment.
Do you think being more lenient is going to help the people you deal with day in, day out? It's going to help them control their addictions, isn't it?
I would argue that trying to control an addiction is completely the wrong approach. That the only way that you can, if you constantly go into, I'm going to show my age here, if you constantly go into a boxing ring with Joe Frazier and you get the hell beaten out of you, the only solution is to stop going in the boxing ring. And why I say that is that the only solution, if you're an alcoholic, you're addicted to alcohol, or you're a heroin addict and you're addicted to heroin, the only solution is to stop using those drugs.
The letter sent to number 10 today, it says the use of legal sanctions for the possession of drugs in the UK has led to the unnecessary criminalisation of more than 1.5 million people in the last 15 years. Does that number surprise you?
Really? I'm possibly surprised that it's so low, because of drug use in the UK is massive. Many of us don't care to admit to that, but drug use is a massive problem. And if you start including alcohol as a drug, which indeed it is from a pharmaceutical point of view, it's just another drug. Then most adult people use one form or another of some kind of substance that changes the way they feel.
There's no sympathy for this at all. There's the psychic biker who says defined personal use, and to have them, you would surely have to have bought them from a dealer, which is an offence. Mark says if you see what happens to people who use drugs, you wouldn't want to liberalise their use. And Frank says he thinks this would be a foolish move. Cannabis is maybe a different story if it's medically needed, but drugs can tear families apart.
Once again, you will never find a legal solution to something that is a health problem.
What do you think about its health use or use for health?
Use for health? I would have to see the evidence that really did support the fact that, say, for example, cannabis does have a health output and things. Possibly it does.
Because it's a pain relief for some, isn't it?
It is said to be a pain relief for some. But then if you really want to use it as a medical thing, then I wouldn't, I would have thought it could be medicalized and controlled in the same way that we control opiates that we use for pain relief.